Get it? Because it's a video about screamers? Gotcha! I'm sorry. Screamers. Who hasn't fallen victim to one of these things at least once in their lives? Well, I most certainly have, and today we're going to be digging up all those repressed memories, and we're going to take a look at all the screamers that kept meeting me awake at night, and we're going to work through my childhood PTSD. Together. But before I do that, let me tell you a little bit about the rise of screamers. The concept of a screamer is very simple. You'd be watching or doing something seemingly innocent, and all of a sudden, you'd be met with a loud scream and a scary face. If you're around your mid-20s like I am, and I were to ask you what your first screamer was, you'd probably say one of two things. The scary ghost car video, or the scary maze game. But screamers were already haunting the internet for a while before that. Jumpscares as a whole had already been around for decades in horror movies, but screamers like their own little subcategory of jumpscares. The majority of the internet seems to agree that the first actual screamer was an anti-heroin PSA called Monkey on Their Backs, which aired way back in the early 1970s. I quickly just want to make it clear that even though I will be showing some of the screamers I talk about, I will let you know in advance. There won't be any sudden jump scares, I promise. Well, except for the one I did at the beginning of this video, but if that actually scared you, then boy, you're in for a wild ride today. Besides, I already said sorry. Stop holding such a grudge. Anyway, here's the video.
They say people addicted to heroin have a monkey on their back. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea how this is supposed to prevent heroin use. Maybe they thought it would literally scare kids into not doing drugs, I don't know. Maybe if you were heating it up at the time you'd get startled, shake the spoon and it would spill on the floor. Dick move, by the way. Then in the 90s, there were some types of malware that had screamers in them. But it was in February 2002 where screamers would take their definitive form. J. Bill McCarthy would upload an image to his website called What's Wrong With This Picture? It was a normal image of a dining room, and as the name suggests, you were supposed to look for anything that was wrong or out of place. So you'd be studying this image, looking for anything that might be out of place. But little did you know, it wasn't an image. It was a flash animation. And after about 30 seconds or so, you would find that out for yourself, as all of a sudden, this would appear and scream. Ha ha. Very funny, J. Bill. I honestly can't say I'm surprised. I mean, look at him. The guy straight up looks like a villain. Then came 2004, which was a big year for screamers. This is when television started to pick up on the trend. Keffi, a German company that makes caffeinated drinks, made this commercial. Now everyone and their mother has seen it at this point. But what was the point, you may ask yourself? Well, the feeling you'd have after getting jump scared was supposed to resemble how awake you'd feel after consuming one of their drinks. So after giving Grandpa a heart attack, it would cut to a text saying, "So wach warst du noch nie?" Which is German for "you've never been so awake." Well, Grandpa might disagree with you on that. Like I said, everyone has seen this commercial by now. But did you know they actually made 9 of these? There's one with a guy fishing, one with a guy playing golf, one with 2 people about to kiss on the beach, you name it. But doing in Grandpa wasn't enough for these people, oh no. They were out to get your whole family, as they even put this shit on the radio. Yeah, they would be disguised as a completely normal radio ad about some random topic, and then all of a sudden you'd be hit with a screamer. Like, listen to this English version of one of the ads.
Would you like to know how to make more of your money? Then listen carefully. We've got an investment tip for you which promises top returns. This investment will guarantee you a worry-free life and allow you to fulfill cherished dreams. All with a monthly payment starting from just €20. All you have to do...
Ever been so wide awake? Keffi. Can't caffeine with coffee.
Like, how did this even air on the radio? There was no one throughout the entire production that said, nah, maybe this isn't a good idea. Like, imagine this, right? You'd be driving on the freeway, minding your own business, and mind you, in most places in Germany, they don't have a speed limit. So there you'd be going like, 110 miles an hour, and all of a sudden, you'd be hit with a blah! Well, you can fill in the rest. Like, come on, Germany, haven't you killed enough people? The other big one that came out that year was the Scary Maze game. It was a simple flash game where the goal was to make it to the end of the level without hitting the walls. But right before the end of the 3rd level, at the hardest part, you'd be hit with a screamer. I mean, who doesn't know about this game at this point? It was a good prank at the time, but I doubt it would still get me nowadays. It was in the early days of YouTube when this game became really popular. People would have their friends or relatives play the game, film their reactions, and post it on YouTube. In a way, they were kind of like the granddaddy of prank videos, before they consisted of literal assault and threatening gang members for clout. There were thousands of these videos, some of them having millions of views nowadays. A lot of these videos were made by parents who had their little kids play the game. Now, I don't mean to sound like a Karen, but hear me out. I don't find that funny. And I'm going to tell you why. let me take you all the way back to the year 2008, where I was 9 years old and YouTube still looked like this. I was browsing YouTube on the family laptop when I got a video recommended to me. And I still remember clear as day what that video was. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to the video that took my innocence and taught me that the internet is a vile and unpredictable place filled with a bunch of, well, assholes. The video was called Zoek de drie verschillen, which is Dutch for spot the three differences. You were presented with two pictures, and in true early YouTube fashion, an unregistered Hypercam 2 watermark. I hope saying this doesn't damage my street cred too badly, so I worked really hard for that, but looking at this image even now, still makes me feel a bit on edge. Like not scared necessarily, but definitely a little uneasy. So here I was, little 9-year-old me, scanning every pixel looking for any differences between these two pictures. Well, spoiler alert, there aren't any. And at exactly 22 seconds into the video, this screamer would pop up. Now I've seen many screamer variations over the years, but this has got to be the worst one. Maybe that's just my PTSD speaking, but I honestly mean it when I say I've never come across a screamer image more terrifying than this one. And of course it had to be my first. I had night terrors and trouble falling asleep for what felt like months. I don't think I ever fully recovered. If you look deep into my eyes, you can still see the fear. While making this video, I actually found out that this image was taken from a scene in the movie Fright Night. I don't know if you care, I just thought sharing this might be an important step in my recovery process. So after having developed the trauma and being terrified nightly, and I'm not exaggerating either, my poor mother was woken up in the middle of the night, weekly, because I was just scared shitless. I eventually decided to go down the rabbit hole of screamers and watch a bunch of them, to try and conquer my fears. Well, suffice to say, it didn't work. This is also when I found out about the maze game and what's wrong with this picture and the rocking chair video, the latter of which being kinda interesting, because this video just had screamer energy radiating from it, so I pretty much immediately knew it was going to be one. But it still managed to surprise me, because it wasn't just a picture popping up on screen. She was actually animated to crawl towards the screen, so that was kinda cool, even though I probably didn't think that at the time. Eventually with time, I grew over them, but there were still a few that even though they didn't keep me up at night anymore, still managed to get my ass. The first of these is pretty well known. It's the proof of Michael Jackson's ghost video, which I believe I saw because of a chain email I got at the time. Yeah, remember those? It's a video of a CNN news report where they're exploring Neverland, when all of a sudden, a zombified Michael Jackson jumps out at you. Hilarious. Here's another fun one. The Daisy Circuit new ultra shortcut glitch. I like watching speedruns of games every now and then. Nowadays it's mostly Mario 64, but back in the day, I was big on Mario Kart Wii. Speedrunners managed to pull off some insane things in that game. It still amazes me to this day. So it's no surprise I eventually got this video recommended to me. The video title claimed a new ultra shortcut on Daisy Circuit had been found. So when I saw that, I immediately wanted to see it. The video would start off pretty normal by showing a speedrun lap on Daisy Circuit. But then right before they're about to perform this amazing new shortcut, the Exorcist girl pops up. I don't know how old I was when I saw this video, but I think it was like 3 or 4 years after my traumatic introduction to these things. It had definitely been a while since I encountered one in the wild. And at the time I felt pretty good about it, because even though it definitely startled me, as it would anyone, I was still able to sleep at night. Now that's character development if I've ever seen it. The last one that genuinely got me was in like 2012, I believe, and it wasn't actually a video. It was a webcomic. I used to read a few online comics every now and then because physical copies aren't as big over here as they are in America. Usually when you do find them, they're translated and No, I want nothing to do with that. So a friend from school showed me this because I believe he saw it in a PewDiePie video at the time. It's called the Bonchong Dong Ghost? Bonchong...
봉창동.
That's what I'm gonna call my dick from now on. Hey girl, you wanna maybe get out of here? Go somewhere private and hop on my
봉창동.
So like I said, I've read a few online comics by that point, but none of them had ever moved before. The comic starts off with a girl walking home from school when she encounters a strange zombie-like woman. If you scroll down far enough, it would play an animation of the woman turning her head, accompanied by a neck-snapping sound. Sure enough, I wasn't expecting that. The woman asks the girl where her baby is. The girl then points far into the distance, hoping for the woman to go in that direction. She does, and the girl quickly walks away. But the woman fails to find her baby. And then in the next panel, there's an animation of the woman running towards you with some kind of growling sound playing. Yeah, nothing too special by today's standards, but it can definitely catch you off guard if you aren't expecting it. And that's pretty much it. These are all the screamers that have scarred me over the years. So what have we learned today? We learned that sometimes it's important to take a look back at our humble beginnings and reflect on the things that shaped us into the hardened internet veterans we are today. So let me know in the comments, what was your first screamer? Tell me, which one hurt you the most? If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. And if you didn't, then still leave a like. And be sure to subscribe for more content in the future. I'm a new channel, still trying to figure out my content and my setup and my settings, and I would love nothing more than to do that together. With you. Yeah, you. So if you feel the same way about me, and you want to help me with that, then be sure to hit that subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in a later video. But for now, I'm out. Later, people.